The Dallas Stars' problems are glaring. They continue to exist, and they're not going away anytime soon as they give up another 40 shots and blow another third period lead in an overtime loss to the Minnesota Wild.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. The Dallas Stars blow back-to-back third period leads over the weekend as they fall to the Minnesota Wild by a final score of 3-2 in overtime Sunday afternoon. Marco Rossi, the power play goal in OT as the Wild come away with the full 2 points in a game where Dallas really had no business winning. But frankly, have they had any business winning their last 8 to 10 games? I don't know. It's a reality check for the Stars who must turn things around. Otherwise, it's going to be a short spring for the Dallas Stars. We'll get into all of it on today's episode of Locked On Stars because right now, I don't think they have any answers. And Miro Heiskanen is a long way off from returning. We'll get to that at the end of today's show, but we have to talk about another disappointing game out of the Stars. They came into the weekend, by the way, having lost only one game in regulation and OT when leading after 2 periods. And of course, they just lost to Pittsburgh and Minnesota now over the weekend. It is the same old song and dance for the Stars, the same issues game after game. I'll touch on the officiating real quick because I don't want to waste my breath on it. I've had it up to here with the officiating this weekend in the games I was calling and in a couple of the Stars games. I thought many of the penalties were soft, but there's no excuses. The Stars went 0 for 4 against one of the worst penalty kills in the entire NHL. They had a chance to win it in regulation, and they failed to score. So no excuses there. Their PK was brilliant outside of overtime, which after the Robo penalty, I basically turned on my laptop and started recording because I knew the outcome at that point. But my goodness, the Stars continue to give up a boatload of quality chances, over 40 shots in back-to-back games. That's the first time the Wild had 40 shots since Thanksgiving against Winnipeg. And that's without Kaprizov and Erickson. This team was in need of a lifeline, the Wild, just leaking oil over the last 2 weeks. And they looked better. They looked better. They looked hungrier. They looked like they wanted to win more. And I know the Stars were playing on a back-to-back. I understand that. Jake Oettinger was great. If I'm Jake Oettinger, I'm going in the locker room and just ripping everybody a new one. Like, come on. Come on, boys. We have to be better than this. We are better than this. Or are they? Because I don't think they are. And this is the reality of how the Dallas Stars have to win hockey games right now. And they are so lucky to be where they are in the standings currently, just a few points behind Winnipeg, because they have gotten extremely lucky with many of their wins over the last month or so, because they played the same way they played over the weekend against Pittsburgh and Minnesota. They just found a way to get 2 points, but the recipe's all the same. And unfortunately, Stars fans, I hate to break it to you, but I think this is the reality of the Dallas Stars, and that's how they have to win hockey games at this point in time without Miro Heiskanen, is just get, phenomenal goaltending, and it's hold on for dear life. You're going to give up 20 scoring chances in tight a game. You're going to give up 15 high danger chances. You're going to give up anywhere from 35 to 45 shots a game. Hopefully Oettinger and DeSmith save about 98% of them, and you capitalize on the limited opportunities you have, which they've done a pretty decent job of that. And that's the recipe for success right now. But it's not outworking teams. It's not about dominating possession. It's not about having more quality looks, putting more shots on goal. It's just, let's just bend, hopefully not break. Maybe we'll get a few splinters in there and we'll get a few bounces to go our way. And a team can dominate us for really 50 to 60 minutes. And sometimes we're going to end up on top because we do have some elite talent like Jason Robertson, Rantanen, now Hintz, Johnson, you name it. And if they score enough, we'll be fine. My goodness, it is horrid. It is just horrid. And it's a trend. It's not this 2 games off sort of thing. This is the reality of the Dallas Stars. It's going to be a short spring. Colorado will absolutely run this team out of the building. I promise you that. 5 games. I promise you that. They will run the Stars out of the building because it's awful. It's awful. And I do want to say, I thought the first period was a good start. Thought Dallas came out strong. They got the power play early. Their power plays did look good, just unable to solve Gustafsson. And I thought they had some physicality. They seemed to be awake early, which was a nice sign against a rival. And the Wild came out hot and heavy. It was physical. It was fast-paced. Stars had their legs and looked like they were going to maybe show up today. And they scored the first goal. It was a leaky one. I'll give you that. A bit of a lucky goal for Robertson for his 34th of the season. But Dallas was creating off the rush. They were getting some looks. They ended up with just 5 scoring chances in that first period. They were out chanced 25-16 in the hockey game at 5-on-5. Outchanced 25-16 against the Wild. And that's no disrespect to a Minnesota team that, credit to them, they play desperate. They play desperate like a team that wanted to win the hockey game. And Dallas just sleptwalked their way through the third period, and they were fortunate to tie the game late because Harley banked it off the leg of Bogosian. Otherwise, the Stars don't even pick up a point in the game. They have to stop taking penalties too. They have to stop taking penalties. And again, I thought the officiating was horrific and a bit soft. But when you're defending as much as the Stars are, and I've mentioned this in previous episodes, when you just allow teams to run you ragged, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. You get a stick in the legs, you maybe touch somebody on the cheek or the arm, you name it, you're going to get called because you're defending so much. And that's what happened here tonight. And it kills any of the momentum they do have. It's little, but they don't have the personnel right now or the ability to take penalties because it just throws them all out of whack for whatever reason. It throws them all out of rhythm, and they're just unable to get back to their game because they only have little pockets right now, little pockets of Dallas Stars hockey, so to speak. And it is just an absolute chore for them to do anything. Jamie Benn came back in the lineup. I thought he looked really good. He had some life, which was great to see. He had a huge hit in the first period. And there was a lot of positives in the game too, but the overall team play is just disgusting. I find it really hard to highlight some players. Liam Bichsel, thought he was excellent. A 20-year-old, one of the best Dallas Stars on the ice. Thought he was great in the game. But my goodness, the Stars cannot continue to play this way, ladies and gentlemen. Ceci, shots for 2 when he's on the ice at 5-on-5. Shots against, 18. Lindell's not much better. That pairing struggled. Bichsel and Dumba, give them credit. I thought they were probably the best pairing in the game. Harley continues to do his thing. I don't have a lot of negatives to bring up about Thomas Harley. I know he was extremely upset after the Pittsburgh game, took a lot of responsibility. My goodness, Harley is shouldering the weight of the world right now, just trying to muster up anything for Dallas because he's really the only puck moving defenseman right now on the Stars. And I thought he had a strong night. 18 scoring chances when he was on the ice, 18. And that's in all situations. A large chunk of that, of course, was on the power play, but he had 11 at 5-on-5, the most on Dallas. Like he had a pretty strong game. And that's just the recipe for Dallas. They need him and the big boys up front to play well. And that's how they have to go about their business at this point in time. But I thought Ben had a nice return to the lineup. I know they weren't overly resistant defensively. That line really never is. And they still gave up too many shots when they were on the ice. But it was good to see at least Jamie had some life, just a little want. It boggles the mind because they just seem disinterested. They look disinterested. And I hope that's not the case. Deep down, I know that's not the case. They're just struggling right now. They're really struggling. But when you just get outworked by teams, that's infuriating. By lesser teams too. Just being outworked. They didn't deserve to win the hockey game. They didn't deserve to win the last 12 wins they've gotten. It's really just luck and really purely skill and high talent, if you ask me, because the Ranton line's been awesome. Johnston has some flashes here, but other than that, it is just a lack of energy is really what it is. Like, I understand. I'm not upset or frustrated because Dallas has to deploy Lyubushkin, Cece, and Dumba, who all have some challenge, and Bichel for that matter, right? Like, Bichel's young. Like, I get that. The problem is just the lack of energy. There's no intensity. There's no intensity. And I don't think I'm overreacting to that. I don't see a lot of want. And I find that embarrassing, really, for a team that's, been in the hunt the last few years. They're going to get destroyed by Colorado. And Four's expected to miss the first round. It's going to be short-lived. At least the way they're playing right now. It's going to be 5 games. They better hope they don't get swept. I'm telling you, it's just not good. It's not good. They're going to get right out of the building. And that's why it matters. Because they are limping towards the finish line. They're limping. I don't think they have answers. I don't know what the answers are. But I don't think they have answers. Do you? Let's sort through them. Because I'd love to find out. And let me know in the comments below. Because I don't think they have any answers. Unfortunately. We'll dive into that a bit more in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Indeed. You just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. You've been in a spot where sometimes you just need to hire right now. If you're a business owner listening to Locked On Stars, the pressure's on, and every day without the right person can be a setback. That's why Indeed is here to help you. It is easy. Just use Indeed. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs can come in handy for you when you need to find that right hire. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now you can speed up the hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. It's about finding the right candidates that match your job requirements. You don't have to spend thousands of hours looking through different candidates. It narrows it down. And as I mentioned, $75 sponsored job credit if you go to Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. I would love to jump into some of the advanced analytics and some of the advanced numbers that I usually go into after each and every game. But at this point, I don't think they provide any sort of positivity in the hockey game, because it sometimes it can purely just come down to some energy and effort. I mean, 40 plus shots against Pittsburgh and Minnesota. You're just asking a whole lot of Jake Oettinger and Casey DeSmith, who have been awesome. They have been so awesome. Oettinger was phenomenal, and I hate that I can't come on here and just praise Otter for another fantastic start, because he was sensational again, and he continues in the net mine. He just gets let down by what's in front of him. And what I find also troubling is you see a lot of the best defensive plays in the game are made by Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz. There was a couple plays I'm like, this is excellent stick checking by Rantanen. Roope lifting sticks, getting sticks in passing lanes. Just really strong defensive plays from Rantanen, which is troubling because they are defending. They shouldn't be defending as much as they are. But also, if the defense cannot get them the puck so they can move up ice, that's also an issue. But they're making some really strong plays. Excellent stuff. You get the Robo in that category. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. And as I said, by the time they have to defend for 15 to 35 seconds, by the time you get to the other end of the sheet, you got to dump in and change because you're exhausted. You're just exhausted. And that line was all right at 5-on-5, but there's just not a lot of scoring chances between a lot of the lines. They were all outshot at 5-on-5 when they are on the sheet, and they had some decent stretches. To be frank, I thought the first two periods were not bad. I thought Dallas played okay. It's just when they get the revolving door in the penalty box, you continue to load up another power play, and the PK was great. They went 3 for 3. If you don't include the stupid overtime winner, which again, the officiating, I'm done with it. But again, not the reason the Stars lost. That's certainly a fact. It just throws you out of whack, and you can't get to your game when you're constantly in the box. But again, if they defend as much as they do, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on a lot of these calls when teams are just mauling you. They got outshot in the third period alone, 17-4. 17-4. Just got mauled because the team at the other end of the rink wanted to actually try to win the hockey game instead of just holding on for dear life. At this point, this is what the Dallas Stars are. You hopefully get up by 1-2 goals max, and you just hold on and you play prevent. It's going to be a short spring, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to be bitter, but I don't think it's an overreaction. I truly believe they're done in round one. They are cooked at this point. And of course, look, they have what? 7 games, 6 games, 5, whatever it is. Who cares at this point to maybe turn some stuff around? But I don't know if they have answers. They've sort of trotted out some different things, and I still give them credit for accomplishing what they have this season. But this team, of course, always was going to be questioned in April. That's when the team is going to be tested, and this is the test they have to pass. It wasn't an 82-game regular season, and they've had a lot of injuries and adversity, and I'm empathetic to that. but a lot of other teams do. Look at the Wild, and they were better than you tonight. Clearly better. That's worrying. It's really worrying. It's really, really, really troubling. Because the Wild didn't have two of their best players. They're better than you. Just crap. Same old song and dance, game in and game out. Game in and game out. I hope I'm wrong, too. I hope it's a lengthy playoff run. I want them to win. I want them to win the damn thing. But it's not happening this way. I think we have to come to the realization, especially without Miro, who seems to not be coming back for round one. Who seems to not be back. We had a bit of an update. I don't know if it really was one, but we did have something else over the weekend. We'll touch on that before we close things out. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money. You can start building wealth. It's all in one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, even long-term goals. You have a partner, you can manage your money with that partner. It's smooth. You can track shared personal accounts. You can set goals, stay on the same page without the stress. That's where Monarch Money comes in hand. It's convenient. It's easy. You can take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. Well, the Stars still have a chance to win the Central. It's being made a big deal, but I don't know if Dallas can really catch Winnipeg. We'll see. They still have a game in hand next week on Thursday, or this coming week, I should say. They're playing the Jets, and who knows? They still may be able to catch them. But at this point, it really doesn't matter who the Stars play. It's going to be a dogfight if they're going to play this way. I don't care if they play Minnesota, St. Louis, Calgary. They're going to have their hands full because of the way they're playing currently. And it came out over the weekend on Saturday against Pittsburgh. Leah Hextall of ESPN mentioned she had a sort of interview, whatever. She caught up with GM Jim Mill, and he said he doesn't expect, that was the word, expect Miro to be around for the first round. I said it. I think he could be out for the year. I don't know. B. DeBoer said he's a long way away. I think it could really be a possibility. Let's say the Stars made it past maybe round one or two. I think it's more like maybe he's a Western Conference final type of, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a pessimist at this point with everything going on. But he just started skating. Like, it's a knee injury. That's a lot to just kind of ramp up and get ready. Even at the end of round one, because once Dallas gets through, let's say if they got through round one, this would be the end of April is when the next round would start. So I guess maybe I don't know. And they don't expect him to be back. I've said it before. I don't think they don't beat Colorado without him. And I pray that if Miro did come back, he can solve all this. But can he? I mean, maybe. I think very highly of Miro Heiskanen, and maybe he is the answer for a lot of the shenanigans. Maybe he can clean up a lot, and the Stars get back to playing a brand of hockey that we saw in January and February, where it just felt like they were building, getting better. They're getting worse now. They're just getting worse, and I hope they can flip a switch, but my golly, that's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough against a team like Colorado that's building and getting better as the year comes to a conclusion. And Dallas, I don't see it. I don't see it. I hope to be more optimistic in a few weeks, but they can't take care of business against Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Like, how do you expect to beat any team in a 7-game series when they continue to show a lack of intensity, energy, just game in and game out? And sometimes it's there, but you can't just show up every once in a while, right? You can't just show up here and there. Oh, they're going to get embarrassed. I'm already dreading having to watch the playoffs. I'm not really, I'll be honest, I'm not extremely excited right now about the Stars. I'm not pumped up. I feel like last year's like, oh, here we go. Like, this Dallas team's a wagon. I'm just scared for what I'm going to have to talk about for a 6-game, 7-game series. I don't know if they have like, no one's coming to rescue them at this point. Like, they are what they are. And maybe Sagan comes back for a few games. Maybe he can fill a need, but that's a lot to ask out of him to just get the Stars on track. I just don't know what it is, but they don't expect Miro to be back for the first round. So that's sort of a gut punch. I don't have a lot of faith. I'm sure some of you do, and I wouldn't necessarily push back. I think Dallas can give Colorado some fits if they play well. That's the thing. If they play well to their potential. Look, they're still not a horrible hockey team. They're not terrible when they're playing well and they're playing at their best. I just don't know if they can get to that point enough. I don't know if they can reach that level enough. And I mean, I hope Otter can be just as lights out as he has been. He's going to have to. He's going to have to be truly amazing and have to put together some hell of performance, like a hell of amount of performances to get this team across the finish line. Oh, it's just a tough blow. And just a couple of just disappointing losses, a couple third period leads that they're just not able to close out. And again, it's still early enough where, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge deal. I know a lot of fans. I mean, I'm sort of in the boat. Like, yeah, I would like them to win the Central if they can, just to make their life easier. But they're not playing well anyways. So at this point, the seed is just irrelevant because you're going to get beat by anybody playing this way. I wouldn't want to take on St. Louis. I mean, I would take on Minnesota again, but Kaprizov's going to come back. Ek's going to come back. That'll be tough, right? I don't see an easy matchup for the Stars currently. There's not an easy one in the entire West. There's not an easy matchup for Dallas. So Miro, I'm sick. I'm sick even have to discuss it that he may not be back. And like I've said, he could very well it could just be something trying to keep the spirits up. Oh yeah, he's going to come back. I don't know. Like, do you want to rush him back and throw him in a series? Because that would be scary too. You don't want him to do any worse damage. Like, he's important. And I get we're not thinking about next season. You're always thinking about now, but they need him, obviously. And Harley's doing an admirable job. Phenomenal. I cannot share enough positives and praise him enough. There's not enough adjectives in the world because he's been so damn good. It's been so damn good. And I think he's taken a lot of responsibility for doubt, which I love to see as a young player. But where's the others? Where's the veterans on this team stepping up, holding people accountable, holding themselves accountable, right? Like they need some soul searching right now, a player only meeting type of come to Jesus moment, because it's a reality check. They're not good enough. They're not good enough, and I still hold out hope, because this isn't the way they can play. They are a much better hockey team than they showed over the weekend, and that's maybe me being naive, but I'm thinking, oh well, if they do flip the switch, they can beat any team in the West. I truly believe, if even without Miro to some degree, but when they played the same way, we see the same issues for like 10 games in a row. It's not just like an antidote anymore. It's a worrying trend and troubling that I hope can be flipped around. So yeah, that's where I am on a Sunday afternoon. That'll do it for today's episode of Locked On Stars. I apologize for having a negative energy and negative vibe on a Monday, which is already worse enough. But I think it's a humbling reality right now for Dallas, and they gotta find a way. Gotta find a way. Ooh, the good news is they're back at it in a few days. And we start fresh. Thank you as always for love and support. Appreciate you wonderful Stars fans out there, all you everydayers. I may post this tonight, actually, just because it is Sunday. Just get it out. Maybe some of you can consume this now, so you don't have to be upset next morning. We can have a bit of closure, as they call it. We can all have some closure here before we head into next week. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Playoffs are around the corner. My gosh, I hope it lasts more than 5 games. We're gonna have some fun either way. I promise you. We're gonna have a lot of fun down the stretch. So be sure to hop on board. Thank you as always. Have a great rest of your day, Stars fans. See ya tomorrow. So long.